Hi, everybody. Good to have you all back for session number 2. I trust session number 1 was sufficiently contagious. Not really the right word to use during a pandemic, but I'll use it anyway, to bring you guys all back again. And for those of you who are not able to join us in person, I think there's about 350 of you guys scattered around the world. Sorry you can't make it. We really hope to have you guys here in person at some time in the future. So let's all begin. So guys, really looking forward to the process, really looking forward to having you guys experience what's coming. Today, we're going to be a little bit more technical. So today, we're going to be talking very much about the specifics on growing the sales pipeline, but also how to speed up your LinkedIn. So what we're going to go now is I'm going to go through the app. Now, remember I told you guys last time that what I'm going to show you over the first 3 or so weeks is one methodology. It's kind of like the basic methodology. We're then going to come back and we're going to start the process all over again from scratch. In fact, you guys are probably going to delete most of the people you've invited, and you're going to take in basically what you've done so far and throw most of it out the window. And then I'm going to show you the real power. Now, next week, I'm going to also show you the basics of how to start messaging people on LinkedIn and how to write those LinkedIn messages. This is, don't miss next week, whatever you do, whether it's in person or not in person, please don't miss next week. It's going to be epic because I'm going to show you how to write those LinkedIn messages. You've got hundreds of LinkedIn messages, not LinkedIn messages, LinkedIn connections. You've got hundreds of these people. How do you convert them into actual sales, et cetera, et cetera? That's what we're going to show you how to do from next week. But before we do that, we've got to get your whole process running. So last week, you got a basic overview of how the app works. We talked about how to create your sales funnel and what are we trying to do as a result of this process. You want deals in progress. That's what you're looking for. The goal, week by week, is to get deals in progress. Now, to get deals in progress, you've got to follow the process. Great conversations, high quality contacts, LinkedIn acceptances, pending invitations. So today I'm going to show you how to work your way through that process and start actually building that. It's going to be relatively functional. Next week, I'm going to show you how to do some messages. Then we're going to go right back to the beginning and I'm going to show you the really good stuff, how to do the methodology so that when you start your messages, your invitations, how to write them is going to be on a whole different level. But for now, we're just going to do the basics. All right, so what I'm going to show you guys how to do first. And remember, first half an hour of today is teaching. The second half of an hour is for you guys to implement questions, Q&A, etc. So if you just block off 1 hour a week on your diary and dedicate it to sales prospecting over the coming weeks and months, you're going to just generate a proper sales pipeline. You can't go wrong. If you just dedicate the time to do it, it really does work well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to speed up that process, make it fun, but also teach you a few little tricks along the way that are pretty cool. Okay, so now, as I've said, you want to get deals in progress. That's your goal. You want deals in progress. But to get them there, we've got to go to the top of the sales funnel and we've got to start with your LinkedIn invitations. Now, in the app, under settings, under target and sales funnel, so once again, I'm going to go there right from the beginning. Under target and sales funnel on the app, right, where you've got your sales pipeline, if you scroll down and you go to settings, you're going to see a bunch of things in here. Search URL, tracking links, invitation messages, acceptance messages, custom messages, and handover messages. Most of you guys who are familiar with LinkedIn will be able to figure out what these mean for yourselves, but I'm going to show you how to implement it now, just to make sure. Not going to show you the search URL today. We're going to keep that very, very simple. I'm going to do advanced searches later in another session. I'm not going to show you how to do tracking links. Tracking links are probably the most important things that you can use. What they do is they allow you to track when somebody has clicked on one of your LinkedIn messages. It's lethal. It's incredible. It's super, super, super powerful. Okay. Then we have your invitation messages. Now, under settings, under invitation messages, what I'd like you guys to do is your one will be blank. I've already written one here. Clicking on this little edit button is going to prepare the template for your invitation message. So, hi, name. Let me clear it and I'll start again for you. what I'd like you guys to do is just type in a typical LinkedIn invitation message. I'm going to show you when I do phase 2 and show you guys the really good stuff. I'm going to show you how to write an incredible invitation message, but I can't do it now because you haven't set up the content. So for now, I'm just happy if you go, hi, first name, and come up with your own typical LinkedIn invitation message. For now, don't worry about it too much. Just put whatever you normally put in. Hi, Scott, love to connect with UK software providers, for example. This is obviously going to put their name in, and you can use other things if you want to, last name, email, company name, etc., etc. Now, what this does is it's going to speed up your invitation messages. So you're creating your first template. Now, once again, guys, just write whatever you feel like now. I'm just going to do a handful of them today to get you guys started. So then you'll click save. And now it's done. That invitation message has been built. Now, the previous invitation message I had earlier had a link to an article that I wrote. I'm going to show you how to do that later when we start getting into the good stuff. So now that you've done your invitation message, if you scroll up to the top, you make sure this little button here called track invites is turned on. This will act like a recorder, one of those old-fashioned tape recorders that records what you're doing on LinkedIn. And it's going to put them all into these little special little categories here. So now, if I go and I search, right, for UK software, for example. Now, there's much better ways to search than I'm showing you now. I'm really taking a shortcut. I'm clicking on people. There's a software engineer, for example. There's a head of sales guy at Sopra Banking Software. This looks quite interesting. So let's say I want to connect with Ravi. I click connect. Now watch what it does. Puts his first name in there, love to connect with UK software providers. It's now taking the message that I wrote under settings and the invitation message, and it's fixing it. Now I can just actually remove that if I want to, just to fix the space, and you can fix the space in here as well. Let's just fix that space because there were 2 spaces in there. And I've now created its own little LinkedIn message, and I can just literally just click send, done. What it's now done is it's going to take Ravi and it's put him into the pending invitations tab. Now I've got a bunch of people that I did earlier just to show you. So you see what I've done? I've just gone, let's to Sanjay, connect with Sanjay. Hi Sanjay, love to connect with UK software providers. Sometimes you need to click on the box to make the send button appear, and I click send, done. I've just invited 2 people. And all I need to do is I just scroll down one by one, and I click connect, send. It's adding them all to the app. Now remember guys, this part over here, this app is separate to LinkedIn, which means this data is that you're being collected is all going into your own private database. And you can access the whole database at any time under reports, export your database as a CSV. It'll import email addresses, it'll import all their data. Now, obviously, it won't export email addresses from pending invitations because they haven't accepted your invitation yet. And here we go, guys. One by one, you've just invited them, and now they're appearing under the pending invitations tab. You can literally send out 20, 30, 40, 50 invitations in 5 minutes. However, what I really want you guys to focus on is good quality. For now, I don't want you to worry too much. And the reason why I don't want you guys to worry too much is because we're going to come back to getting this right later. So for now, you can use this technique and just literally invite 30 people, 20, 30 people. Just go click send, click send, click send. And it doesn't matter if they're not quite the 100%. It doesn't matter if they're quite the right people. If you want to spend extra time finding your exact search, that's great. For homework, I asked you guys to look into what is your target audience. Who are they? What is their job title? And we're going to spend a whole session on that, especially when we get to phase 2. And I really start going into the more advanced stuff, because if it's crap in, it's going to be crap out. So you only want to invite high quality people. The golden rule, never put crap into the app. Okay. Now for now, it's fine to break that rule. Okay. So don't worry if you break that rule and you put a few crap people in here, because for now, I'm just taking you through the process. So feel free to go and invite 10, 20, 30 people. If it pops up and says you need to pay for the app, remember what I took you through last time. You have a limit of 15 free invitations you can send out. If you've added 5 people to My Trusted Connections, which is the Connections tab, I took you through this last week. It's a separate section of the app. If you've added 5 people to this, it increases the app limit for free from 15 to 30. Now you can have 30 people in here. So just keep that in mind. You don't need to have more than 30 people, guys. If you're rich and you want to spend the $49 for a year and you just want to pay for it, lovely, very happy for you to do that. However, don't feel the necessity to pay any money right now. Let's get it working first. So all you need to do, guys, is go to pending invitations, right? And start watching your invitations come in as you connect one by one by one by one. All right. So you can do 30 of those, and you can do that in the second half an hour. It's really simple. Hopefully that makes sense. And if you need Q&A, I'll help you with that. But it's really, really simple, guys. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to show you is the magic button. The magic button is called check acceptances. Now, what this little magic button does is that you periodically push it and it checks to see which of your LinkedIn invitations have actually accepted. So if by some miracle, a couple of those people who I invited a few minutes ago have accepted, they will appear now. Just going to quickly scroll down. There's 2 different types of checking acceptances. You've got normal check and you've got deep check. Deep check allows you to scroll down much lower. I click the check button. What it's doing is it's checking everybody who's accepted your LinkedIn connection. And it's cross-referencing those and putting them into your accepted invites tab. Done. Now you'll see them on the new acceptances. So here's a couple that I prepared earlier. And I hope this is making sense, guys. So look what you're doing. You're inviting a whole bunch of people, waiting a couple of hours or waiting a day or two, clicking the check acceptance button. Anybody who accepted your invitation will automatically move down to new acceptances. So they're ready for you. Why are we doing this? Because the goal is to move them down your sales pipeline and eventually end up with deals in progress. So you guys are ready now and you can start sending out your invitations. You've set it up. Now they're in the acceptance tab. Now you want to send an acceptance message. How do you set up your acceptance message? You go down to your acceptance message under settings, underneath invitation message where you did the one before. Click on acceptance message. Here they are. Click edit. And here's my one. And I put a link in there, which I'm not going to worry you guys about. But for now, I'd love you guys to basically put something like, hi, so-and-so, thanks for the connection. Maybe you want to ask them a question. Are you a collaborator? Do you love to form partnerships? If you're looking to grow your business or it's from a sales perspective, you might want to lead them to your website. Don't worry about getting this completely wrong. Our philosophy is don't sell your product or service right now. But for this purposes of this process, I just want you to just say a nice acceptance message. I look forward to collaborating further. Okay, so there's my acceptance message. So now I've saved my invitation message and my acceptance message. You'll notice that in my case, it's going to revert back to the old ones. There's a specific reason for that. And that's why it's shifted a little bit because we plugged into a different system. And I'm going to talk to you more about that in the advanced session. But for now, you just get your invitation message and your acceptance message. Now, new acceptances. Okay. And I can go back up to new acceptances. And all I need to do then is I need to go, okay, Mark has accepted my LinkedIn connection. I click send acceptance message. Look what it's done. It's built that message. Hi, Mark. Thanks for the connection. I look forward to collaborating further. Scotty. Done. Send. So it's literally, I didn't move my mouse. It did that for me. So I'm going to discard that because I don't want to send that out now, but I want to just really help you guys understand. So when you've sent out your invitation and your acceptance message, this app allows you to do it almost instantaneously. Click send, click send, click send. Check acceptances, move them into new acceptances tab, then go send acceptance message, send acceptance message, send. This is called semi-automation. There's a difference between semi-automation and automation. Automation are those apps, like there's heaps of them out there, and they will automate this process for you. This is where you can start getting into trouble with LinkedIn, because you can start going into limits and they can have you can start getting blocked, etc., etc. So this is why we are using a combination of manual work. So I actually have to literally click the send button each time I want to send a message. So once again, let me just quickly go back, and hopefully you guys are all happy with this. So is this making sense? Hey guys, what you're doing is you're getting into the app, you're doing your acceptances, and you're doing your invitations, and you're getting those first two levels of your sales funnel. Bang, 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 bang. Connect, 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 connect. Send acceptance, send, blah, blah. For now, you're not going to do it with the full effectiveness. I'm going to show you how to do that when we come around to it. But for now, I just want you guys to go and invite 30 people and send 30 acceptance messages, right? And I want you guys to also move them. So once you've sent a message, this little down arrow will move them to the next tab down. So send acceptance message to Mark, which I didn't do, but I showed you how to do. Once I've sent that message, use the down arrow. When I click the down arrow, Mark will appear here where Charlie is. Now Charlie is in high quality contacts. Now we start getting interesting, because you've built a machine that's done the first two steps for you really quickly and in a matter of minutes. It's allowed you to send your acceptances, and it's allowed you to do all your invitations within minutes. Click, 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 send, 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 send. Done. Now they're in high quality contacts. This is where it's important that your quality is in here. So by the time we meet next week, all of you guys are going to have people inside the high quality contacts tab. If these guys are not high quality, you can delete them. That's fine. But remember, we're just practicing, and you're going to delete these all anyway. So next week, I'm going to show you how to reach out with a very, very specific message, how to start getting the engagement that you want to get. Do you guys remember on the match3.com website from last week, I talked about the key of all keys, the sales conversion gap. Do you remember the sales conversion gap, guys? This is the sales conversion gap. This is where your money is. This is where your sales are. 19 out of 20 of your prospects will not jump into your lap and buy. You've got to proactively reach out to them, but you don't know who they are. If only you knew who they are. Now you are going to know who they are, because this process is going to help you get there. So now we're starting to slowly see the beginnings of this gap forming. Now we've got to start the lead nurturing process. But when the lead nurturing process gets to a specific limit, how do we start to message them to close this gap? What we're going to show you next week is how to close this gap halfway. In some cases, it'll close it the whole way. You'll actually get people replying. You'll start conversations. But generally speaking, it'll be enough just to get them to know who you are. Okay, so this is now really, really important. From a philosophical perspective, your goal is to get a great conversation going with somebody. Now, how do you get a great conversation going with somebody? You don't spam them. Don't talk about your product or service. They know what you do for a living. How do they know that? Because your LinkedIn profile is staring at them in the face. You don't have to sell them. What you need to do is get into a conversation with them. And what you want to ultimately do is make sure that conversation is around their pain. If you have a conversation around their pain, and they see you as a trusted individual, somebody with credibility who's not trying to spam them, that's when you have a chance to break through that clutter that is the millions of LinkedIn messages that are going out. And you'll be able to get onto a call with them on your terms. In other words, as a partner or somebody on their level, not as somebody trying to sell something to somebody else. This is the art of what we do. Today has been really technical. So from a technical perspective, I've shown you how to use this app. I've shown you how to use the process, and I've shown you how to move them from pending invitations to new acceptances, and then using the down arrow to move them into high quality contacts. So by the time we meet next week, you're going to have a bunch of high quality contacts that you would love to do business with. So who are they? This is the decision for you. What is your search going to be? This is your decision, guys. Who do you want to get in front of? Who are they? Are they plumbers in Bulgaria? That's what you need to think about. Is that making sense? You guys all happy with that? What I'm hoping you guys will also start to realize is that when you look at creating your search, that search criteria that you're going to create and the number of people in that search, even if it's niche, will be enough to hit your sales targets. So think about this. How many deals in progress would you want over the next 12 months? How many deals do you want to sign? You're probably going to look at about 30. Generally, most people come in between 20 and 50 deals. If they could close that many deals in a year, that's great. Some people are a bit higher. How many deals do you guys want to sign in 12 months? That is your most important question. Then you work your way up. So if you want to sign 30 deals, right, that means you're probably going to need about double that in deals in progress. You're going to need 60 deals in progress. That means you're going to need 3 times that in terms of great conversations. Maybe even double, but it's COVID now, so you probably need triple. So 30 times 2 is 60. You need 60 deals in progress. That means you need 180 great conversations. To get to 180 great conversations, you're probably going to need 400 or 500 high quality contacts, which equates to 400 or 500 acceptances, because it's going to be the same. And to get that many invitations, you might have to send out 1,000 invitations. So worst case scenario, guys, if you send out 1,000 invitations using this methodology over the course of 1 year, you should eventually get to 60 deals in progress. And you close your 30 deals. That means you only need to send out 1,000 invitations. There are so many people on LinkedIn right now that you could literally drill down and go so niche and only target one specific section, that as long as there's 1,000 people that come up in your search, in your specific search. So if I search right now for CEOs, for example, $8.8 million worldwide, I only need 1,000. So you can go so niche just to get those 1,000 people. You could specialize in a particular industry, even though you don't really do that in your business. For the purposes of this LinkedIn process, you can specialize, and you only need 1,000 people. Guys, you could target solicitors in London, and there are far more than 1,000 of them. You can become so niche. And the reason that you want to go niche is because going niche is going to help you specifically create a message in phase 2 that's going to show them that you understand the pain of their industry or the pain of their job title. Do you see what's happening, guys? This is where it starts to get really exciting. And even though for now you're taking shortcuts and you're just going to do your invitations and you go click, 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 and then you're going to go acceptances, send acceptances, send acceptances, blah, 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 blah. You're going to check your acceptances periodically, and you're going to then move them down from new acceptances into new quality contacts. Bang, done, sorted, off you go. A frequently asked question is this: what if they are already a first degree connection? Then what? Can you add them to the process directly? The answer is yes. If they are already a first degree connection and you have lots of first degrees connection, you don't need to put them in invitations because you don't have to invite them. They've already been invited. You can put them straight into new acceptances if you want, using this plus button. What it'll do is it'll take all of Cherie's data and it'll put it into your new acceptances tab. You can then click on this little button and it'll send you the acceptance message. Bang, off it goes, builds the acceptance message for you, send. Now, what's really cool about this process as well is that there are tags. You can tag each individual, and I'm going to do another session on tagging, but I just want to quickly show you, especially if you're quite advanced and you like the technical stuff. Once you've taken Cherie, right, and she's in new acceptances and you've sent her a message and you've used the down arrow to move her into high quality contacts, right? Here she is. You can now create these tags by simply using the dollar button, and you can create a tag and you can make your own tags. Just click on them, click save, and you can set up your tags. This creates like a mini CRM set, a mini type of CRM in a way, but we call it a pre-CRM. So here's Shireen. We can say, had a great conversation, for example, and you can create these little notes within it as well. There's a little tracking note. You can also use this little button here to send a reminder to do a follow-up, and you're going to be using those down the line. I don't want to get into too much detail, just in case you guys want to play around with it, but your reminders will remind you to follow up on certain days. So what we're doing here is we're creating diligence. We're giving you the methodology and the ability to just follow the process. The greatest salespeople in the world are the introverted, diligent people. Those are the ones that are great at sales because they follow the process. Just keep on going. If you've got great charisma or you extroverted, so I'm an extroverted type of guy. I am not, believe it or not, people say I'm a great salesperson. I'm really not. Why? Because I don't have the diligence. This is for diligent people. If you follow the diligence, guys, and you do this and you set an hour a week, preferably 2 to 3 hours a week, just on sales prospecting, you cannot go wrong. You have to bring in new deals. What I'm trying to do is make you do it and help you do it and guide you do it as efficiently as possible, so that we're going to take you down to high quality contacts, show you how to measure it, do your reminders, set up your follow-ups, Oh, look, Cherie responded. That's great. Now I can move her down into great conversations. Yes, now she's in the great conversations tab. There she is. Oh, yes, I'm going to get a phone call with her. Great. Now I can move her into the deals in progress tab, and you just move them down your sales pipeline. And you've got your tags and everything as you go along. So your homework is very simply to create under settings your invitation message and your acceptance message. Build those, get them ready. Then your homework is to do your search and connect with them, making sure track invites is turned on. Add 30 people to your pending invitations tab. If you want to wait a week till next week, you can do that. Otherwise, in the meantime, in the next day or two, click the check acceptance button. Watch how a bunch of those 30 invitations will automatically move into new acceptances. Click on send acceptance message. Watch as the message builds itself. Tweak it if you want to personalize it a little bit. Otherwise, click send. Once you've done that, use the down arrow of the app and move them into high quality contacts. You will also notice that when you move somebody into high quality contacts, it'll automatically create a tag called send custom message. Or sorry, not custom. In this case, it'll be sent acceptance message. It'll track each step of the way. If you do that, guys, you will have the technical knowledge already in just 2 weeks of how to build the beginning of the machine and how you'll be able to go invite, accept, done, and already got people in your high quality contacts tab. So hope you enjoyed the session. Once again, for all those listening, we'd love to have you join us in a week's time. I'll get the dates right this time. We'll see you guys in a week. I'd love you to join. For those who are still on the call, I'm going to take a whole bunch of Q&A now. I'm going to stop recording in a second, but I really hope that you guys will see you next week. Q&A will happen now. Really looking forward to it. Next week is huge. Today was technical. Next week is going to be more theoretical, how to craft, how to put those words together in such a very specific way. So guys, for those of you who've joined us on the recording, thank you so much. And for the rest of you guys on the call, let's start the Q&A.